Alright, and it appears we are live. Just as promised, I'm right back at you with another stream. This is Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience, episode 242, continuing these firearm studies. And yeah, after looking over the submachine gun section of this Metal Gear V art book, seems like there's 4 different kinds in all, and that's not including attachments. But I wanted to figure out, like, how can I draw these things, and I don't know uh like what the best way of doing it would be. Like, I'm wondering if I can, because they're longer. So I'm wondering if I need to, like, split it into, like, 2, give it 2 squares, and then and yeah, maybe let it rock that way, and then just throw maybe additional attachments on the 3rd square over here, so that way it's like I can fit 3 of them on the rest of these pages, since they're going to be like the gun and alternate attachments on these 2 squares here, drawing them at a decent size, kind of like how the handguns fit well into the square as far as like getting details and things like that. But then, as you can see, like drawing them small, details start to go out the window. And if I draw these submachine guns with the silencers and the arm, the arm stock, whatever you want to call it, the bump, the thing that they use to stabilize it on their shoulders. Shit, I'm forgetting what that's called at the moment. Who cares? That thing, like, they become extremely long, and I'm gonna start losing a lot of the detail. And the whole point of this is to get the study in. So I'm thinking I actually may need to. Here, let me adjust this camera, and let me bring this down a bit. I guess I gotta kind of stretch it some. Hold on. This is what happens when I don't plan ahead. Okay. And now my microphone's all jacked. Hold on. There we go. Struggle City over here. And yeah, so I'm thinking the best way to do it is to fit these guns across these 2, and then just throw the additional silencers and whatever those little stabilizer things are called. I should probably look into what those things are called. Just throw the additions onto this 3rd square, and that way I can still capture those weapons with the same amount of detail as, like, this here and all the weapons from the other side. But, kind of like how we did here. But yeah, these things don't break up like the handguns did. It's kind of weird. It looks like the handles and the muzzles are all connected with these weapons. So
this morning,
hey.
And we have returned.
Hey, what's going on?
Along with it, a lot of stuff that.
There we go. Okay. And yeah, I got Max Dude playing in the background. What is it? The Jacko trailer. And I guess he's going to continue with the Tsushima Iki Island. So yeah, I'm going to let that rock. And let's get to it.
My store. A lot of shit that we're waiting for, and finally get to see the buffs and changes where they're approaching Guilty Gear going forward. If you're tired, I did get some more friggin' sleep, dude. I definitely need to get more sleep. And Jacko trailer, right? Finally get to see what the hell Jacko's gameplay is going to be like. Is Jacko going to be similar to her previous version, which is kind of a very mechanical character, or are they going to severely, tone her down? KOF 15 trailer recap? Well, I think there was a bunch of other stuff for KOF 15 that is, like the website is officially up and a whole bunch of other information came out, right? There's like a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, there's like new clips on the website, like everything. So, yeah, Jacko's a pretty technical.
Let's see, are we on the camera? Do I need to adjust it, aim it towards the side a little bit?
Kind of like Gargos from Killer Instinct and Jacko are kind of similar, but Jacko's like there's way more.
Oh wow, this thing is way angled. Hold on.
They're doing with Jacko in Guilty Gear Strive. You know what? I don't want to watch it right now. Let's not spend any
That's what happens when I start working on the left side of the page, left side of the sketchbook. Getting the camera to reach all the way over here is
all right, so
struggle city.
main character art wise.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. This is just a breakdown. This is. Got it. Okay, give us the breakdown. I want to see it.
Jack O fights by summoning servants. Take control of the ever-changing battlefield as you roll on the offense.
Oh my! Already it looks a little crazy.
This move summons a servant. Servant gauge is required to summon them. You can use servants as projectiles by hitting them with an attack. Servants disappear
Nice.
when the opponent's attack hits them, or after a set period of time.
Oh, they automatically disappear, huh?
Picks up a nearby servant. You cannot block while lifting a servant, but you can dash backwards. Throw servant. This move throws a servant forward that you've picked up. The servant becomes a projectile once thrown, moving forward in a curved line.
Okay. All right.
Release servant. This move releases a servant you've picked up. Once released, the servant falls to the ground at your location. You can use a servant to start your offense by hitting them with an aerial attack after releasing them in the air.
Whoa. So it's got a hitbox on the way down? What the hell?
All servants that are currently summoned. The servant gauge refills once they've been recalled.
So you just want to reset everything.
Is required to activate this move. Attack command. This move causes all currently summoned servants to attack.
There we
As it
go.
launches the opponent on hit, you can follow up with a combo. It also works well as a poke or in setups due to its fast
This looks weird.
recovery. Servant gauge is required to activate this move. Defend
Oh
command
my god, that looked ridiculous.
creates a barrier around all servants currently summoned. When the opponent attacks a servant with their barrier up, it causes the opponent to crumble. This works well against
Can you actually get damage there?
We got the camera attachment here.
Follow up with Forever Elysion Driver while the opponent is stunned.
Or camera is like a laser attachment.
Activate this
Oh, a command grab super while they're stunned. Wow.
This move causes all currently summoned servants to explode. The servants vanish after the explosion, but it causes heavy damage.
That explosion is very minor.
The explosion goes on, so
It looks very like, that should be like huge.
servant gauge is required to activate this move. Servant shoot. An attack that hits in front of Jack O. By hitting servants with this move, you can send them flying or off. This works well as a poke at low.
It does take away their actions though, okay.
This move can be canceled into some special moves. Forever Elysion Driver. An extremely damaging throw. This move can
Yeah, command grab super?
combos, or to interrupt your
I'm actually really surprised. She
on startup.
seems to have retained a lot.
This move as it lifts unless you are extremely close to the opponent. Cheer servant.
Oh wow, this is the same scope as
Servants.
what was that? The one that I put on the Magnum over here.
They no longer disappear
Okay.
when the opponent
That's cute. They put on a mask.
So I'm just looking at that one. It's same scope that's on this one here.
together with your servants.
Yo, what the hell?
Use of the servants you summon to create an opportunity to attack. You can
So let's focus.
or throw once you're in close range. If your opponent tries to prevent you from summoning servants, Use standing kick or bar standing slash as throws. Her sweep is also easy to use and has a lot
This pressure.
Her aerial gust attack can keep the opponent from approaching too. Once you have control of the field.
Wow! Hold on a second. Well, I think she wins biggest fucking move list in the game. Damn. See, the thing is, what's crazy about Jacko is that she probably has half as much as what she had in XR, right? I mean, I never played Jacko like enough to really get it, much less even fought people that use Jacko very much because she was so odd. But this is like half the things that she could technically do. And it's still an absolute metric shit ton. Like, look how many friggin' attacks and combinations of things she can do.
Serve it on and move in to overwhelm the opponent. Thank you for watching.
Interesting. Foss has the most inspired. Does Foss actually have more supers than that? Yeah, in XR you had like houses and you could put them in the house and shit like that. There was a lot of weird shit happening. She was definitely very well, I'm gonna say that she actually has way more than I thought she was going to, right? Yeah, I remember like playing the organ and shit to give them buffs and stuff. Like it went pretty far in the previous game. The funny thing is that I completely understand that the character has a lot less crazy shit, right, that she can do from the previous game. But this still comes across as like to an unknowing outsider, right? And even someone that very briefly even checked out Jacko's move list in XR, much less maybe played against her, I'd argue less than 5 times in the entire time I played Guilty Gear XR's like lifespan. This still comes across as like, dang, there's a lot to swallow here, right? This is definitely a character that has a lot of technicality, a lot of setup stuff, and it seems that it might flow a little bit easier than it did before. But dude, like, oh, holy crap. It genuinely looks like she's going to have a lot of nutty shit that's going to be happening. So, this actually leaves me with some questions regarding the future. Like, she's kind of, I don't remember Jacko being able to kick and manipulate the servants in XR. Remember she can, like, pick them up, but they would, like, sort of progressively move forward in, like, an attack pattern, right? So now, and we were talking about this earlier, now she literally took that aspect from Venom, where Venom would put pool cues on the screen and he would hit them and they would go in a variety of directions, right? They would bounce off each other. Yeah, in the previous game it was automatic. This one feels like, yeah, we're just going to take Venom and Jacko and sort of like mix them together gameplay-wise, and now she can pick up the houses, yeah. Well, I mean, she can still pick up and throw these, but now she can actually hit them with like normals for the most part. Not as much as, you know, Venom, but weirdly enough, a little bit of Venom-isms in this character now. Which is pretty fascinating. She can more set you up, and that's like getting good with Venom, which takes a long time, is going to be pretty similar to getting good with Jacko, right? The number one thing is setting up all the projectiles on screen to manipulate them to a point that really locks the fucking opponent down, that limits your options a shit ton. That's like the goal of a character like this, which is ideally what Venom was, you know? No, Venom from, here, chat, for people that don't know who Venom is, who might be new to
Wow,
here.
people don't know who Venom is? Man.
This guy.
Venom's super dope. I love his design. He has that crazy hair with like a tattoo in his hair.
Looking for an actual decent picture that doesn't have logos and shit all over it. There we go. This guy. So this guy literally played pool as a gameplay mechanic. And he would put pool cues on the screen, and after a few of them he could hit them and they bounce off each other and they like reflect in a variety of different directions. So Jacko has somewhat of a similar element, right? Where you're able to put projectiles on the screen, technically, minions, and start going nuts. What was Venom's game plan? You would think that this would lead Venom to be like a zoner, but not really. Like, Venom is a setup character. Like, I mean, I don't know if he's the same in every single fucking game. But he uses the pool cue to hit the balls, and then they all bounce off each other, and they can hit the walls and come back to you. Like, he if you got people that eventually really played well with Venom, it felt like you could never fucking press a button. Like you'd get pressured like crazy all of a sudden, but he just needed to get shit set up, you know what I mean? So you don't see Jacko being set up though. I'm gonna counter your argument with hold on a second. There was one moment in here.
To explode.
To me, this character is nothing but setup.
Sergeant Gage is
There was one.
Due to its fast startup. As it launches, the opponent on hit.
This thing right here, I think.
There we
Yeah,
go.
for attack command.
Due to its fast startup. Sergeant Gage is required to activate.
What? Dude, this character isn't a setup character?
To activate this move.
This is not a setup character?
To activate this move.
Like, but she is. Like, that's going to be her whole game plan is going to be to knock your ass down, stick a minion on you, and you just have to fucking guess. Good luck, you know? That looks pretty dank. Well, the dankest part is that she's only doing one part of the mix-up, right? She's doing dash in the air. She can jump forward, backdash back in the air, and then, fucking... And the reason I say this is, like, a setup character is because she is doing shit very similar now, right? Like, I would say even more similar to this guy. It almost feels like this character took a whole bunch of shit that this guy did, and now she has it too, right? It's like super similar. Being able to pick up and throw this shit, and then jump over and manipulate him, trigger the one of the minions to do something behind you, and all that kind of shit. She like Gargos was like a variant of Jacko gameplay design. Now it feels like, oh shit. Now, oh god. Now there's like even more stuff that are relevant to what Venom does and Gargos does in Jacko now. There's like a whole bunch of shit. Here, let's see. Hold on a second. I want to show you guys.
Getting lost in the weeds here.
Probably a good AI 27. Yeah, this should be good. Just to give you an example, there. Let's skip forward to a little bit where Gargos actually has some meter to work with, and you can get sort of an example of how fucking nutty and crazy this shit gets with just 2 minions, right? And Gargos is technically a zoner, right? In this game, he is effectively good at mostly long range until he gets minions on the screen, and then he becomes insane rushdown.
Gargos. Who the fuck is Gargos? Oh, Killer Instinct.
Until minions show up. Yeah, Jacko is Friday. So once again, toss minion, right? This guy has multiple hits of armor. I call him Jerry. And then you're going to bring out Larry, which has 2 hits of armor, but he's more offensive. And now, this is one of the hardest fucking fights in the game for almost any character. You have to get huge fucking guesses if you want to get out of this shit. So, set up City. And Gargos has the ability to manipulate either Jerry or Larry to do moves, right? So in between moves, they'll automatically do shit, sort of like similar to what Jacko had before. And now, similar to what Jacko has now, Jacko can specifically tell like all the minions, hey, do the move. Do the move when you want, when the move should come out. Bink, boink.
Oh shit,
Like
so this is actually good.
Super sick. It was one of my
Come all the way
favorite
up
things is
here.
getting like a bounce combo and you have Larry on the other side, and they would bounce up and Larry would stab you in the ass. And you would bounce up and command grab them after the stab. I'm like, oh, this is going to be so fucking cool. They remind you of Pain and Panic from Hercules. There's a good reason for that. Anyway, to me, it really feels like Jacko's taking a whole bunch of those elements, right? Which is good, because that actually might make her pretty dynamic. Of course, there's going to be one way to play her, right? There's going to be a way that is way more effective than all the other ways that you can play her, right? And depending if it's going to be set up or keep away or whatever, you know? But minion characters are definitely some fascinating shit in the world of fighting games. Well, they specifically use... They don't get good until they have their minions out, you know what I mean? I'm pretty surprised. I'm actually got to give it to the devs in this situation, right? To me, she still seems intimidating, which I like. I want there to be weird and complicated characters in fighting games, even though I might not ever have an interest in playing them, you know? Even though they might whoop my ass in any given situation, I want fighting games to have characters that do different things, completely different than other characters, you know? Because that doesn't just provide for one play style that is sort of homogenous throughout the whole game, where it's just like close range slash, close range this, rush that, like, right? It's fun to see people approach a game with a shit ton of different ways that you can play it, and for characters to encourage that. And right now, Jacko seems, at least from this game demonstration, seems to be doing this shit. So, yeah, like we said, simplified from Xrd, but once again, what are they doing, right? What are they doing? This is not Jacko from Xrd. This is simplified, but expanded. Now Jacko can do different things to the minions that she couldn't do before, right? Even though she could do, technically, like, less moves than she had before. She doesn't have the piano, she doesn't have the house, all that shit. Simplified, but expanded. And that's fine. And to me, that's the best way to approach a character design if you want to get more people to play it. Don't take away the things that make the character fun, just allow it to expand upon the things that might be a bit more approachable. So, and that's the way Guilty Gear's approached a lot of this game, right? Most of fucking Guilty Gear in Guilty Gear Strive is the ideally simplified but expanded, where like the RC system is super expanded over what was existing before. Anyway, she doesn't look like a character for me at all, 100% at all. But we're in a situation where I actively avoided a lot of characters in Xrd as they came out over the years, simply because I didn't want to learn this shit and play it online. But now, similar to Gold Lewis, right, we can give this shit a shot. I'm actually looking forward to just learning some moves, going into some matches, and giving stuff a shot, because she looks fascinating. Fascinating? She looks fascinating. I like that this game is going to let characters do different shit. Way different shit than other characters, you know? She's definitely not waifu material for me, man. Vaccinating? She's definitely not waifu material for me. She's definitely Guilty Gear's waifu, right? I would say at this point she has become universally known as the Guilty Gear waifu due to the memes and the dreams and the streams and the teams with in the seams, right? Her and Ram. I think Jacko, as of the latest developing events, yeah, she's literally stole bad guys like lady. Is actually literal wife. Okay. But based on what's happened over the past like week, or Jacko's like trending from her fucking crouch animation and all this shit, I think she's essentially become even more the Guilty Gear waifu now than ever before. So it's good, right? It's good. It's good. I can't wait. Like, somebody had a good point about biking, which is, you know, Guilty Gear biking is obviously the one character that I really look forward to in this
My
game.
bad.
And I genuinely like biking and her design a lot more before her, I'll say quote-unquote, comeuppance in Guilty Gear Xrd. And, however, I would say that it isn't the assets that she got in Guilty Gear Xrd that are as captivating to me. To me, the thing that always made biking cool was like a couple of those elements between her looking like war-torn. She's badass. Like, I love that shit. I cannot tell you. Hold on a second. I need to find old school biking art. Yeah, this is the Viking that I fell in love with. This is the Viking design that initially caught my eye because look at this character design, dude. As someone that in the age I was, the teenager I was when I first saw Viking as a character in Guilty Gear, and I saw the way this character looked. Look how fucking cool this chick looks. Holy crap, man. And then you get to like the even better stuff, like the Guilty Gear XX images, and holy shit, dude. Look how fucking cool this chick looks.
Yeah.
My God.
I got into Guilty Gear and Guilty Gear X.
And then it takes a very different turn. A very different turn. And everything gets enhanced, right? Her hair gets huge. I still love
her design
the
there
way
was
this character
dope.
looks. I'd actually argue that I think it still looks great, even in comparison to the designs. But it's the badass, like, wandering female, war-trodden, like, samurai swordswoman that does it. Like, that shit is... And the fact that I think her color design, I think the colors that they chose to put on this character are really good. I think, fuck, dude, I just love the way everything balances out on Viking visually. So fucking sick. To the point where I'm super curious if she shows up, right? This is the true character that I'm probably looking forward to the most in the game. If she shows up, how are they going to approach her gameplay? You know? I'm very curious. All versions of her look good. And she looks really good in Samurai Showdown. They did a really goddamn good job of her in Sam Show. How does Viking look in Guilty Gear? Oh. She does look way different. She is still one arm. She's still got one eye, too. Yeah, this is actually badass looking up here. She's so fucking 90s looking. I think that's what I'm getting at. There's weird Ninja Turtle feet here, yeah. She is so, like, 90s looking, you know? I think that's something I just love about that character aesthetic. I think that shit just looks great. Why does she have 3 toes? Shut up, chat. It's a rough sketch, okay? Anyway, this is my waifu. I can see why a lot of people... Who are the big waifu characters that people looking forward to? What is it? Kuruda Berry? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Dizzy's always a waifu character.
I think Dizzy, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Dizzy definitely would be a big one. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. Wasn't Jacko also technically a DLC character in XR? Was she a Revelator character? She was in Rev 1, right? ABBA? I'd be super curious what they do with ABBA. Really, I think I'd be down for Elfet. Oh, God! Oh, I hate it that I forgot that. But I also love it that I erased her from my memory. The literal waifu. Oh, Jesus, I erased her ass from my memory. I mean, I'm an idiot for not even thinking of this, but, I mean, waifu, like, fucking, what?
Yeah.
Do we think this character's coming back? This chick and her shotguns and shit and her stupid strawberry bombs, or what are they, flower bombs? I don't fucking know. She absolutely tortured the previous game. Tortured it. Like a yin and yang sort of like situation. Tortured the games they were in. They were all over the place. Do we want this character back? Funny talks? I mean, I'm actually kind of curious how popular Elfet is. Her other design is definitely interesting, too. Right? Yeah, the Rev 2 design. I don't know. Robo-Kai? Well, you know me, Chad. I want the best fucking...
Fuck yeah, Robo-Kai's the shit.
There's only one real waifu that we can all agree on. That needs to be in Guilty Gear.
Robo-Kai?
We talked about this before. That there's
Order Soul?
one character that absolutely needs to show back up in Guilty Gear in some way. That is like true waifu material and needs to fucking return. It's this guy. This guy.
Order Soul.
This dude needs to come back. Can we get the best waifu? Can we get the best waifu back? Can we? Can we get Holy Order Soul? His gameplay is worth the wedding, chat room. I tell you right now. This guy's gameplay is worth celebrating holy matrimony. This motherfucker is someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with type shit. Like, damn. You get the level 3? Shit. This motherfucker's fun. Or Saul, he's not really. He's really not. Like, for anyone that has like played a little bit of Soul Bad Guy in the past, and you play Holy Order Soul, very different fucking character. Dramatically different character. You thought Soul was an aggressive dude before? Oh, you fucking wait. Oh, you just... To me, there's like very few characters. Yeah, this is the equivalent of Jago to Shadow Jago. There's very few characters that grab me. I think he looks kind of whack. I'm gonna slow it up right now. Waifu-wise, he looks kind of whack. But gameplay-wise, I'd be willing to marry that shit. He's got such fun shit, man. Like, such fun fucking shit. Firearms plus R, I'm thinking about it right now. I really had fun when I was playing this character. I really did. Genuinely fun character. Raven, I do like Raven too. I think Raven gameplay-wise got me. Raven definitely got me gameplay-wise. Yeah, I mean, I can see this being a waifu for a lot of people too.
Who are they talking
I
about?
can see this definitely being a lot of folks' waifu.
Testament? Nah. Why they do Testament like that?
If you dislike fighting against certain characters in Guilty Gear Strive currently, if you're
gonna hate Testament.
If you don't like the way some characters play in existing Guilty Gear, oh, get ready. Oh boy, get ready. You're just gonna want to divorce them any single time you fall into an invisible trap. You're just like, what the fuck hit me? Why am I being hit by this shit? What's going on? Anyway. Yeah. That was our review of Guilty Gear waifus. A very broad stroke waifu. Anyway, we'll try Gakko when she comes out. She probably is going to drop maybe tomorrow night or a bit later. Which Biken do you prefer gameplay-wise? Plus R or XR? I actually like Biken the most gameplay-wise in XR. Biken dust combos. Biken dust loops in the corner are... And just her neutral is really fun. Like, the problem with Biken is that so much of it takes a ridiculous fucking amount of precision that shit fell apart online. It is super frustrating. But I think she has like the most juice and is arguably, in my opinion, between all the versions she's had before, the most fun. She's just really fun. Yeah, and then doing instant air dash to Tommy Mats online and shit with 7 frames of fucking delay. Yeah, I didn't hear that Plus R did get an update of some kind. That's actually awesome that those guys are still...
God damn. God damn this gun.
Patches and updates and shit. Yeah, I heard she's really good in Plus R. I mean, granted, chat, the most time I put into Biken was in this game. You might never have heard of it. But this is the game that I dropped the most time into Biken in. Oh, and it's got the right CD too. This one.
Alright.
This is the one that I spent the most time with Biken in. Plus our Biken is actually pretty nuts. Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Sam Show? Definitely not. Yeah, Guilty Gear X. This was the Guilty Gear that I played the most too. We played the fuck out of this game when it came out. God damn. Damn. Someone disagree that Plus R Biken is crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you guys because my perspective on the character and her being super good is from a very limited perspective. I just always thought she looked cool. And you know what? I'll say it right now. If a character shows up into a fighting game like Jury, right? Biken is 100% the Jury of Guilty Gear. Are a lot of people going to play these characters to resounding success? Fuck no. Are a lot of people super excited about the character's inclusion, if not just like the character, and think that that character existing in the game enhances the game's overall awareness and
Absolutely.
amongst its audience and gives more people a chance to play it? Absolutely.
Huh.
Absolutely. There are some characters that people won't play but they love. Like Dan in fucking Street Fighter is one of them. That's another really good example. People just like Dan being in the game. Are they planning on winning with the character a lot? Fuck no. But it's good to have them there.
That's why I always played Dan, just when I was like, fuck it, I'm losing, who cares? I'm gonna play Dan now.
You know what I mean? So, I think almost all fighting games have like characters like that, where people might not just want to play them all the time, or dedicate the crazy amount of time that it takes to get good with them, because they might be super weird. But their existence enhances the game experience so much, you know? No, I'm not saying how good or bad Dan is in Street Fighter V. Dan's arguably the best in Street Fighter V than he's ever been before. All I'm saying is that just the character being there does a lot. It makes a lot of people happy. Whether or not they're winning tournaments. Gives a shit whether they're winning tournaments. Yeah, I think Viking's like one of those characters, you know? I think Viking's like perfect example for Guilty Gear. Let's check out the patch notes, yeah. Oh, you know what we should do to check out the patch notes? You know what song we should do to check out the patch notes? Hold on a second. Is this it? I need an extended version of this song. Pillars of the Underworld extended. Fuck. Fuck, no one's edited together an extended version of this shit? Oh, come on, internet.
Just set it to replay.
Looping is not extending, chat. Extending comes with editing.
There you go. That's true.
Fuck. Get this song back in the game? Fuck, dude. Damn. Yeah, they're bringing back the green themes. Fuck, dude. What is this? This is Kai's theme from Guilty Gear, what is it, Accent Core? The Korean soundtrack?
Shit. This is about half the size. So yeah, you're gonna have to start way back here.
Alright. Down with the badass music. Jesus, that song is so fucking cool.
It is a
Well,
good
I haven't
song.
listened to it since like the last time we streamed it. Anyway, so I already sort of reviewed a few of these things that's going on in here. And the big ones really come down to some individual character gameplay things. And oh boy, is there a lot. Is there a lot to unpack here? And the nice thing is that these are actually prepared in a very considerate way. A general balanced intentions, right? Hey, this is what we're going for type of thing. Here's the actual changes. Unfortunately, not actual listing of frame data, but actual changes. So good patch notes, getting there. Changes focus on differentiating the properties of his normals as well as the situation after his special moves are blocked. So, / one of his better moves, one with the big like circular flame thing that you're able to chain Stan K into. They're decreasing the hitbox on the top and the bottom, making it more likely to use a low profile move and forward punch attacks to actually knock it out. Makes sense. Makes sense. most people use it as a combo tool. Maybe not as much as a poke, but still a poke because it's incredibly fucking good. Oh, yeah, that was actually a big one too.
There we go. Yeah, you're gonna have to come down here.
There was something that was talking about, yes, reduced input delay on PS4 Pro and PS5 versions. Woo! That's probably the one that affects me the most, you know? Oh, why? 3 minutes of sound. But, I mean, that's a fantastic thing. No regular PS4, they probably still gotta work some shit out on that. Anyway, they made crouching slash better on Assault, makes sense. They added some knockback to standing slash, or far standing slash, the core of his close range game. Although the change is minimal when blocked normally, it has a major impact when blocked with faultless defense. The knockback on his crouching K has also been decreased, making it easier to combo into sweep. So that's technically a buff, right? So this is the crazy one. They're saying that, hey, far standing slash, y'all can play for so long. Well, here's the thing. We nerfed it. Only technically if you faultless defense it. Like, you're still gonna have to do the thing that takes like a 2 to 3 frame catch window in order to do something about it. So it's still super fucking good, right? It's still very good. It's probably not gonna change that much. So that's actually a very interesting adjustment. They made Slash Volcanic Viper better as a DP, which actually is a bit similar to Street Fighter V, where like the medium DPs are the anti-air ones and the heavy ones are for damage. Interesting. Bandit Bringer, which is, I fucking hate this move. It was difficult for both the player and their opponent to predict what would happen. It's now easier to put a distance between Soul and the opponent after it's been blocked. Dude, there'd be some angles that Soul would Bandit Bringer you at from the air, and you didn't know what the fuck you had to do. Oh, it's faultless defense, not IBing. Oh shit. You're right. So if you just regular FD it, it'll push their ass out way more. Oh, that's good. For some reason my brain was thinking of IB. Actually, that's actually a big nerf. Now that I think about it, because that's super easy to do. But quote unquote nerf, right? You can at least push them away a little bit more. So Bandit Bringer change is very nice. This one's fucking crazy to me. Because I'm gonna cover the characters that I think really have had a profound impact on the game, at least for the ones that I personally care about. Wild Throw was being used less than Standard Throw. So now, we brought back the ability for Soul to combo after Wild Throw with a Roman cancel.
Oh shit, I did this all wrong. Whoops. I was supposed to draw these things on the third square over here. I fucked up. That's what happens when I start listening to a podcast.
The big gimmick of the command throw from previous games is that, you landed a command grab and you get a combo after.
Because then it would have been like 4 things down here, would have fit in that square perfectly and given me something to...
Yeah, we want you to wild throw people even more. This is the thing that's changing for several characters. I noticed this happening to me too. I would do double fireball forward with heavy slash, and I would sometimes get Tyrant Rave. I'm like, what? And whenever I would try to do Tyrant Rave, sometimes I would get Heavy Mob Cemetery. I was like, what? So, you hate that? Yeah.
This is that gun.
That happened to me on several characters because of the way the info
Perfect.
So, I think this is changing for a lot of characters. I think they're actually changing the way the move is done, but I don't know. It doesn't say, right? It doesn't say specifically. But I think they're just making it easier to identify which one or the other. Anyway, Kai is easier for both hits. Stun different to connect. Compared to his crouching slash, his far standing slash has a few disadvantages.
I wonder if I should have drew this down here. It's kind of convoluted up there.
Tension gain after a set period of time, as other overdrives do. As it greatly increases Kai's average damage output after activation, we had intended it to be a valuable option.
Like if I drew the end of the gun over here onto this side.
All right. Damn. Buffing and dragging install a little bit. Speeding up the attack start, decreasing the tension penalty. expending a hitbox of activation in front of him.
Not going
Wow.
like that.
Okay. Guys, top 5 after these changes? I'm curious, right? Still, in my history of playing this game, even though we haven't played it for like a little while now, guess who the character is that I fought the most in Guilty Gear Strive? In like possibly
Nago.
1,000 matches? The character I played the most
Oh, that he played the most.
against
Leo.
was Kai.
Oh,
Yeah,
played
not
against
so
him.
bad guy. Probably Kai and Nago Ryuki.
I was gonna say, he
Kai
played a
was
shit ton of
definitely the one.
Nagos.
It's pretty crazy. Kai is like everywhere. So I don't know. It's weird that everyone was like sort of talking shit about this guy for like the longest time and he's really hard to use and all this stuff. But I kept fighting him. He was everywhere, dude. It's weird. Very weird. Anyway, I'm curious about them nerfing May. After standing heavy slash has a much shorter range than their standard slash attack, despite having a longer recovery, we reduce the recovery and improve the attack's active time. That's the big swing, right? This makes it very effective at preventing an opponent's approach during neutral. We've also reduced the lower hitbox for far-standing slash and reduced its active time for crouching slash. So you got a couple of better normals. Overhead kiss can only be followed up in the corner. However, it cannot be followed up mid-screen. The distance made the damage. Oh, HS was the overhead swing. That was the chop. So stand slash is the hook swing, right? Yeah, overhead kisses are command grab. So Meg didn't get nerfed, right? Reduced horizontal blow, making it easier for follow-up attacks. She got buffed. Good. I'm a little disappointed that Axel loads in here.
Oop.
I was told by the developers that they would follow up with my requests. I had a couple of Arc System Works devs tell me, "Don't worry, we're gonna delete Axel from the game. We're trying our best." But there's a lot of people fighting for it over in Japan apparently. But don't worry, chat, we're making some headway. We're gonna start a new Twitter campaign that is #DeleteAxelLow to actually get some, real life impact on this. We're gonna get like at least 40,000 retweets on it. We want to resonate with something that truly affects people's day-to-day lives and how much better your life would be without this character. Anyway, moving on. It was hard for Axel to get significant returns for standing B and crouching B in mid-range, but the risk of them losing the opponent's attack. You can now combo to snail on a grounded hit. It's now easier to use one vision in combos, as the ready stands can be cancelled into from special moves.
There we go. Had to get more eraser
One
out.
vision, the snap. It's time stop. So you're telling me this bitch can do special to super activation with that shit now? Can that be canceled into from specials?
There we go.
Get Daisuke on the phone now. Daisuke, it's me. Yeah, I read your patch notes. Listen, you motherfucker. I see the character's still in the game. And you buffed it. To me, this seems like a direct objection to my influence. If you don't get rid of Axel Low before the next patch, I'll get everyone to request Soul Bad Guy. Nobody likes Soul Bad Guy right now. You better be sorry. You have 24 hours to delete Axel Low from Guilty Gear Strive, or I'm taking half the fucking roster with me. it playing down K. Got an adjustment in some way? Right? Chip's probably gonna get down K adjusted. I'm gonna
There we go.
right now.
I'll figure out what to do with this extra square.
Who could anti-air down K in the air. It is now easier for anti-airs to hit them during descent. Oh, good. Oh, thank God. On the other hand, he is now left in a more advantageous position on hit or block, with less distance between him and the opponent. So they made it easier to anti-air this fucking move. Thank God. The lower part of
Let's
I
start rendering this joint.
You don't think about it, right? There's no thinking about doing this fucking move. You just fucking do it. And it like homes on bitches and shit. It's a good change. The lower part of the hitbox of his far-standing slash has been reduced, making it more likely to use for low profile and forward punch attacks. However, his crouching slash can now be used as a better means to approach the opponent, with its greater extended range when used after a dash. Interesting. This makes it risky for the opponent to throw out moves in neutral against him. Well, Chip obviously got a tone down in the thing that he really needed to get toned down. Right? Really needed to get toned down. But he did get a couple of buffs. Seemingly. Actually, far stand slash technically got nerfed. It's a small one though. But his crouch slash is better. So he's like a little all over the place. Oh, did they change? I don't see anything regarding Mega Fist or, what is that move called? Garuda? The damn gun? Fix an issue where the hurt box from Text 2 would disappear when landing. Forward K reduced recovery. Heat knuckle make it. No. No. Nothing. Garuda impact is still the same. Shit. So Faust gets an actual wall break combo now. That's pretty fucking good. Wow. I hate fighting against Faust, right? But there was a pretty clear disparity with some characters being able to wall break. Faust just like couldn't fucking wall break. He just had to deal with that shit, right? So now, that's a really good call, right? They put Faust into the game finally.
They put Faust
really
into the
call.
game.
I'm actually not too sure what a lot of these things do, but that's probably one of the biggest ones. It looks like speed up, increase the hurt box on startup, that's a buff. Standing heavy slash increase active time, that's a buff. So we got some better normals, and you got the ability to gain meter. Pretty good call. Milia, recovery of standing heavy slash reduced. Increased movement speed of tandem top slash version. I actually don't know what these are called in the game related to the moves. But fixed a bug and sped up. So Melia got nothing but a few buffs. Ooh, Zato. Buff standing heavy slash. His anti-air is a little faster. And when recalled Eddie with Fireball back heavy slash when Eddie is summoned, summon will be cancelled faster. Okay, so he got buffed. It seems like Zato is probably a character that, you know, doesn't get played a ton on the character list because of how weird he is. But he's probably in a situation where it's like, okay, so how do we get more people to play Zato? Do we buff him? No. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Like, this is probably a character where if you touch him up too much, he becomes a fucking nightmare. I would hate to say it, right? I hate to say it. But Zato 1, Eddie, like these characters aren't designed to be played as much as the Kais and the Souls and shit. He's just not. He's designed to be a weirdo, right? And that's one of the best things of Guilty Gear. No matter how much you buff Zato, you're not going to make new Zato fans, most likely. Even if he gets better and better and better. You know what I mean? So he's designed to be kind of like a weird character to play. That's kind of his thing. So I'd imagine they're a little hesitant, even if they see people that aren't playing him a ton, to be like, yeah, let's just give him all this shit. Let's give him a fucking another sword. He can shoot 6 swords. That's probably a very risky road of giving him better tools, because even though the character's hard to play and hard to understand, you think devs intentionally make bad characters? Devs absolutely intentionally make weird characters. 100%. If you're saying devs intend to make bad characters, Dude, that was fighting games from the 90s to the 2000s. 100%. Yes, devs intentionally made bad characters. They made characters that were goofy and fun. And they didn't care whether or not they would be competitive. They didn't give a shit. So is Zato like designed to be a character that is always going to be like super good in all these games? No. Did they design them to be bad? No. Did they design them to be competitive with the rest of the cast? Fucking, I mean, give them stuff that they can do. He's obviously still pretty good in this game, but he takes a lot of time to use. This isn't a character that you want to give him a bunch more fucking tools to get people to play him. Because that'll lead to him being too fucking good. And the people that put in the time to him will suddenly be super fucking good. But nowadays, right, I would say over the past like 10 years of fighting games cost too much of this shit to make now, right? There's too much of this stuff involved. So, do you intentionally design a character to be bad when things cost a lot of this now? No, you can't. Making bad characters doesn't exist anymore in fighting games. Back when fighting games were cheap as fuck to make, in like the 90s and the early 2000s and shit, you could make goofy ass characters and just throw them into the game. Not so much anymore. Budget consolidation is a big thing. You can't just have like, oh, we just have a fucking goofball, have fun with them. Yeah, 12 is a good example, you know? Sean is the best example in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. They designed him to be bad. They specifically did. They gave him new moves so he could be bad. So, we're in a much different situation now because games are not cheap to make anymore. Especially compared to what they used to be, what they used to cost. So RAM, barely any changes. Reduced the lower hitbox with aerial heavy slash, that's good. Reduced the lower hitbox, behind and in front, okay. Forward movement on, is that like the palm strike? Float speed button on ground, okay. Not a lot of changes to RAM. Oh, but here's the crazy thing, right? Here's the crazy one. Here's the beautiful shit, chat. There is not a character on this list that is going through fewer changes than Leo fucking White Fang, right? This is the character I play, obviously. The Gorilla Lord. There is no other character on this list that has as few changes as Leo so far. However, the impact of Leo's changes, substantial. Pretty fucking big. Because of what it means and what they are further giving him. So, let's all establish that Leo's back stance is arguably 10 times fucking better than it is in the previous game. Right? Leo from back stance is an absolute goddamn nightmare in Guilty Gear Strive up close. He's a nightmare. You're getting hit by shit. He has so many fucking options for back stance up close that it is ridiculous, and it makes him hella fun. But it's because he has a little bit of weakness from other areas like the air and, you know, from afar and stuff like that. He has to get his ass in to do that. The crazy part to me is that I was like, dude, they are going to change either run through or they're going to nerf back stance because they're just too good, right? Leo has a couple of tools that are just so fucking good that no matter throughout any level of competition, you're not going to be able to stop Leo from doing some shit. You're not. You're not going to be able to stop him from mid-screen slash projectile. You're not going to stop him from DPing on wake up. You're not going to stop him from doing run through from whatever fucking angle he wants, right? If he's instilled the fear, you're going to try blocking that shit, and even if you block it, you still have to block after. It's nuts. So the fact that they doubled down on that shit, right? The fact that, like, Leo, once again, in a very similar fashion to what his character was in XR, Leo in XR plays his own fucking game, right? He plays the Leo game in Guilty Gear XR. And they're doubling down on that again, where they're like, hey, you know what? His back stance is super fucking good in this game. It's really good. Almost everything is plus. You can make it plus if you want. You can lead to more crazy shit if you want to. And here's the thing. We're going to make it even better. That's what's happening now. From back stance, the dash button can allow you to move even quicker with the dash button now, and so you don't actually mess up the movements. And they made kick from back stance fucking dash or jump cancelable. So he got even better. this dude just got faster from back stance. So now Leo is even more threatening. It's almost like the devs are trying to say, our game gives you enough tools to get out of rough situations, right? Yeah, you get burst, you get faultless defense, you get YRC, you get a wide variety of things. You get blue RC in some situations. You get a lot of shit that you can do to get people off your ass. In general, right? Just generally, unless you don't have meter. So now they're like, hey, we're just gonna double down on the fact that Leo is so fucking crazy from backstance close range that we're gonna make him even crazier. Holy shit, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome. You're ready to guess even more. Holy crap. You see, yeah, he's fast in backstance, make him even faster. Nuts. So Nago's forward P is faster. His far standing slash, which I think is the poke, right? Gives him better blood gauge, which is one of his best like mid-range pokes. What is Waseyuki? Is that his super? What name of these moves? That's super, yeah. It no longer goes into the follow-up animation when the edge of the first hit connects with the opponent. When the last hit connects, it blows the opponent back regardless of their position. Oh. So the startup back's a little bit different. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, the air launcher super? Gotcha. Okay. Not that many changes for him. Oh, man, Geo also got a very few changes. Her forward punch is faster. I have noticed that it seems like a lot of anti-airs are getting better, you know? Like, lots of anti-airs are going through some pretty big changes. Forward heavy slash, final follow-up hit knocks the opponent down. Okay. That's the triple kicks. And the final hit of force... Well, actually, Jesus. Yeah. I find it kind of crazy that they use the term Okizeme in this, on the website, right? I find it pretty fucking crazy that the official website has the term Okizeme, but at the same time, I think they understand that the majority of their players that are playing this game probably know what these terms mean anyway. So, anyway, she gets better opportunities to knock the opponent down and then mix your ass up on wake up. Okizeme is like forcing the opponent on wake up to make a guess, essentially. Right? She's going to knock you down, and upon wake up, you have to make a guess on what she's going to do. And they use a very specific FGC term that's been around for like 2 decades, or even more. Anyway, Geo's already really fucking good. She's probably going to do even better with this stuff. Damn, Angie. You can now mix opponents up by blocking at mid-range using Fujin because the motion occurs before the attack is active? Really? Made it possible to cancel into its various follow-up attacks even on whiff? That changes a lot. Right? We only played Angie very little from back when he was in like the beta, but that feels like a pretty big change. Is that more like XX Angie? It feels like a pretty good change. Angie already felt still pretty good, right? To me, weirdly enough, I ran into probably more Kais and Angie Nitos than almost anybody. And I was a Leo player, so it was like, not that hard to DP him through all this pressure and shit. But still, kind of nuts. Far standing slash is better. Attack times on at least Fujin follow-ups? It might be. But extending hitboxes, increasing the active times, extending the hitbox? Shit, man. These are all buffs. Don't know a lot about Eno, but increasing movement, speed up, reduced knockback, reduced horizontal opponent blowback, adjusting the hit of ground opponents, increasing the time allowed for follow-up, that's a buff. Reducing knockback and increasing forward movement. Seems like she got nothing but good stuff. And gold Dick Lewison.
Yeah.
The hit effect of Skyfish will now be buffed depending on the current security level. It provides a major advantage on hit at level 3 in particular. The adjustments to Crouching K and Forward P are minor, but improve their usability. So his Dust attack, just a lightning recovery after the finishing blow, match to their characters. Crouching K reduced knockback, so that's good for follow-up combos. Forward P sped up his anti-air. Dude, his anti-air fucking sucked. Like, I can't even tell you that stupid claw thing that it would... His anti-air fucking sucked. Like, I just had to stop doing it. I just had to admit that the only way you're going to prevent people from jumping in on you was to just not be there. So that seems like an interesting change. Skyfish, the hit effect now changes depending on the security level. Skyfish is the orb, right? Or is Skyfish the machine gun? It's the gun. It's a minigun. For some reason, I thought Skyfish... No, I'm thinking of a different move. I'm thinking of the orb. Yeah, the orb is Thunderbird. Okay. So now the system fixes a bug where the wall break would not occur, and there would be a graphical error, and then the opponent... Oh, I didn't run into that. Shockingly, I think the biggest changes to him are probably going to be coming from his ability to anti-air and the fact that Crouching K might be able to combo into more stuff a little bit more reliably. Yeah, no one got really hard nerfed, right? I once again have to give it to the devs. I have to give it to the devs. They kind of stuck to their guns. Yeah, we're getting another... This was like, according to the developers, this was actually a minor balance patch, right? There was like, they described it as minor adjustments before the bigger one that is going to be dropping later this year in the fall. So, the fact that the approach that they've had with almost every single character on here, there's very few actual, and even the stuff that has been quote-unquote nerfed, makes a lot of sense. Like, being able to push Soul back from Bandit Bringer, if not Far Slash, if not, friggin' Chips down K in the air, I think everyone assumed that some shit was going to change here. But did they make these moves technically bad? They didn't. No. Chips down K got buffed in many ways. It just is more effectively anti-airable. Soul I'd say Soul didn't really get nerfed. He got more adjusted, right? Things just got switched around a little bit. He got buffs in other places and some minor adjustments. Like, for example, Stand K is still Stand K. Like, Soul got better, but his Wild Throw got better. His Crouching Slash got better. I gotta give him some credit, These are some pretty wild changes. And not what I was expecting. They didn't kill anybody. Geo got literally nothing? No, she got a better anti-air and she got better Oki. That's pretty big. The fact that forward heavy slash, the kick thing, now leads to like a proper knockdown. She gets to fuck you up. Now she's gonna be ending everything in that. She's gonna fuck you up. Let's see what they say. They mention anything else about the future. Adjustments to battle balance are planned to take place in August and October. This update focuses on changes to identified issues such as individual moves. We are also looking into improving and making changes to overall mechanics as well as certain actions such as projectile special moves and grounded overhead attacks in the update scheduled for October. Are they going to make overheads faster? Like in general? Grounded overhead attacks. So we're talking about forward, like chip, forward kick. I'm assuming that's what they're talking about. Maybe, yeah, well, universally there's dust. I'm thinking of like, what are some other, like, general, maybe they want people to be doing dusts more? Actually, now that I think about it, maybe they want the non-charged version of Dust to be something more effective. Yeah, Fujin overhead. There's like I'm wondering what exactly they're referring to. If they're talking about universal mechanics? Normal dust is 0 on block. Well, I'm not saying it's not. I mean, I would use non-charged dust and then RC that shit every once in a while. But curious. I'm curious because it does have such a big startup. What is, I think, I'd argue regular dust is like, what, 18 frames? It's reactable. You have to be looking for it, but it's definitely reactable. And I think charge dust feels like it's like 20 plus. Oh, 20? Holy shit, official S tier. What the fuck? I'm gonna be giving you guys that money back. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. He said hashtag free NBC too. Guys, for you guys that don't know, official S tier are the dudes that are making the crazy Marvel vs. Capcom 2 like handmade rubs. And I'm not stepping on that shit, man. I'm gonna like fucking frame it or some shit. It's gonna go back there. Thank you guys. Holy hell. I appreciate it. Literally getting that back to you in like a week. You like to be able to backdash. Oh! Oh. Dash cancel out of dust? Like charge dust and dash can. Oh, shit. There's a lot of interesting shit here. Projectile special moves. Overall mechanics and certain actions to projectile specials. Like, what are they talking about? Interesting. Very interesting.
Alright, let's fast
So,
forward
right now
a couple
it looks
minutes
like,
and see if... Yeah, because I don't know what he's talking about at this point.
Shit is very representative of how they're able to approach things going forward. And all things considered, based on the way the game is right now, which seems like some characters people thought were bad are getting better, and some characters that were good aren't ending up with the results that they were expecting them to.
Okay, let's go another couple of minutes. What is he doing?
Teleport up and behind, only Axel low.
He's talking about Overture? Oh
I'll
no.
make some calls, don't worry, chat. We'll win this war. I like that. I think we just solved a huge problem for this game. You know? I mean, this isn't. I just hear from Leo players. I'm not act like, you know. This isn't an issue for me. I have no problem with it. That's not a problem for me. Whenever I play Axel, you know, I just accept death. But a lot of people are very upset. You know, I'm just here to relay information.
All right, moving on to the next
Trying
one.
to help the community. Anyway, I'm excited. Seems pretty fucking cool, man. And to be honest, like it felt like the game needed a little bit of spice. I don't know how to. I think the frequency of which they're adding like DLC characters and how fast things are sort of like figured out for a lot of characters. I think it's good to see a little bit of spice like added to the game. Like there's a pot of characters and the way everyone's like playing certain characters in the game. Just fucking mix it up a little bit.
All right.
Because version 1 of the game we all know is going to change, right? Everybody, if it's later on in the game's life cycle, this is like 3-4 years out, and people are already sort of established, and the game has its ways and its isms. Right now, yeah, and we're not getting another character for a while potentially. That might not be till like November. Right now, it kind of seems like in these early stages they should be approaching the game with some experimentation, you know, which is exactly where I think this shit is alluding to right here. Projectile specials, grounded overheads. I think that's what they're sort of getting at. Anyway, yeah, we get one more character for 2021. We have no idea who it's going to be. Generally. Mason, thanks for the $3, dude. Oh yeah, where the hell's that combo recipe shit? Holy shit. How often should fighting games receive a healthy patch? I don't know. There's no real answer to that. There's no real good answer to that. Because I can tell you,
Shit.
patches
I gotta
are
lower
specifically
this
made for
camera angle.
people that are still playing the game, obviously. But they're also made to bring people back in. Like, in fact, the whole point of content isn't just to satiate the existing audience of people that are playing the game. The whole point of fighting game content and characters and potential adjustments, outside of obviously appealing to the people that are already playing it, is to get people back. That's the big gimmick, you know?
Okay.
We want people back in. I'm fucking super curious to check out the game after this shit. Even if we don't end up really loving Jacko, and she's not a character that I'm going to be invested in, which is most likely going to be the case. I'm very curious to see how the fuck Leo approaches after all this shit now. Holy no. They did buff Sol. They did. They buffed Sol and they buffed May. They did.
Alright, how we looking?
Especially considering the great pantheon and history of fighting games over the past 2 decades.
Yeah,
you know?
Armature's getting super stretched right now.
Usually the first patch for a lot of fighting games is pretty fucking aggressive on nerfs, man. Usually the first patch takes
where's the
everything
square
down.
at? Okay, so we
And
still got it.
Not really. Not really. Bar standing slash that's adjusted, less than nerfed. Standing heavy slash got better. Crouch slash, this sounds like it got better. Reduce the active time for crouching slash, that actually got changed. Expanded the hurtbox, sorry, this one is a nerf. Crouching slash is a nerf, I read it wrong. But her command grab got better. Like, her command grab got better. She doesn't need to corner for that shit anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, the things that frustrate you about May didn't get changed. In fact, I like that, right? I fucking hate getting hit in the head by dolphins and shit. I hate dealing with characters with good shit in general. But that's important for fighting games, I think. I think fighting games should specifically give characters good shit. This is something that's going to be good, and most likely throughout the rest of the game's life is always going to be good. You know? Give characters good shit. Let them have it. And you'll always just have to deal with it, you know? The real big patch isn't on October. Well, here's the thing. They addressed it here. This is like individual character adjustments. This patch. The one in October is overall mechanics. So the way like potential dust attacks work, the way that projectile specials work, it's changing. They're doing something different. So, no, they didn't say anything about damage changes here. Nothing about the way damage works. Maybe RC changes? Yeah, we don't know. Dude, chat, I don't think you can 25% YRC this game. You can't let someone sit on four chances of RC. You fucking can. But the way RC works in this game, you fucking can. It'll just go back to XR. Right? You can just purple RC projectiles and shit like fucking crazy. You can't. No, you don't do a 33%, you don't do any of that shit, right? RC is already super good as it is, and it does actually make the game really interesting to watch. However, there's a reason it's interesting to watch. Why is RC, the fights that have really crazy RC battles, why are those fights really, really fascinating? Because they take place when the characters are low on health. Why do they usually take place when the characters are low on health? Because there's opportunities that you've already had to get to the point where you have a bunch of RC to work with, right? It's not happening all the time over and over and getting old, you know? It's not something that is like so permeating through every single fight constantly. It's usually taking place during clutch moments, either to get the victory or to protect yourself from dying or counteracting somebody else's RC to do crazy shit. And that's actually a pretty good call, right? So I think it's a really rough road if they try to give you more meter to work with. I don't know, man. I don't know. That seems like I like it. I think doing more RC shit would be great, you know? But I can definitely see it from a developer perspective, where if you start giving people way more shit and way more ways to earn a meter and way more resources.
Should have measured this out a little bit better. Hold on.
takes away those moments. Yeah, you don't want to deal with fucking rushdown characters with even more meter. You have to deal with, like, there you go. That's the answer, right? Brian Gann has the answer. The answer isn't to make RC happen more often. The answer should be to make a choice. Should I be using RC in this situation? You know? Because RC, there's a lot of different RC options in the game, and that's where your meter goes. But right now, your choice is either to use RC or to use Super. I think, right? Unless I'm fucking completely pulling a blank. It's RC or Super. How crazy would it be if there were, like, EX moves? You know? How crazy would it be if you could use the meter on other things that you had to start figuring out? Oh, faultless defense. Yeah, the slow removal from FD, you know? Like, that could be crazy. The more options, the better, in my opinion. Yeah, force breaks is the correct term. And force breaks are pretty fucking sick, dude. The impact of moves is already really great in Guilty Gear Strive. Imagine fucking force breaks. Aerial fucking Fafnir. Boom! Boosh! Bitch flying off the goddamn wall. Boom! Holy shit, what is it called? Sidewinder? That shit's dope. Looks great. Meter burn potbuster? Fucking A, go for it. Anyway. Do you think carrying meter over round to round would work? No. That is specifically a Guilty Gear thing. That is, the Guilty Gear has been designed from the beginning so that you use all your resources to get a win every single round. You don't sit on resources. I actually really like that design aspect of Guilty Gear. I always have. Because it's different, right? No other fighting game does that shit. You use it or you lose it. Get that fucking win. Or try to survive. I think making choices like that are great. Yeah, Burst is a different scenario, you know? BlazBlue does it too? Right, but I mean, BlazBlue came way later. Like, Guilty Gear started doing this shit in the fucking 90s. It's kind of the thing that got adopted into other games, you know? Yeah, I did see the Strive Plus mod. That stuff's neat. Anyway, chat, this is exciting. Yeah, I'm actually very much looking forward to getting back into the game and just firing up some characters again. Seeing what Jacko's going to be like. Playing some more Leo. I'm sorry. I really want to play Leo. I think of all these characters that are in the game right now, and the ones that I've seen played, and the ones that I have played, and the ones... Because you can't play Soul Bad Guy, right? We all can agree that it is very difficult to be a broadcaster and play a character like Soul Bad Guy. I learned this after the first day, because he's very fun, right? Clearly a very fun character. I learned this after the first day of playing Guilty Gear Strive, right? Like, I can't play Soul Bad Guy anymore. So I kind of stopped. He's super fun. Crazy fucking character. But this is a lesson that I ultimately learned over the years, that when it comes to content creation, did Sage Jam run into that shit too? When it comes to content creation, you have to sacrifice your desire to actually be competitively better to provide entertainment. And whether or not that's playing a huge ton of variety of games or staying away from characters that people fucking hate, it is 100% a thing that exists. Because the casual audience does not have an understanding that just figure out what works and do shit against them. You can tell people that, but you're not going to be able to convince everybody. And the very large majority of people that just tune in and watch fighting games, they don't give a shit. They just want to see some game with some cool music and shit. You're nerfing yourself? 100%. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I already came to the understanding very early on in the 2010s when I was starting to make, fighting game content professionally and, like, full time, that yes, there is a very clear decision whether or not you want to expand your audience, or your desire to specifically be better. But to me, the value of getting people into fighting games and expanding that audience felt way better than winning tournaments and shit. Than doing better competitively. Absolutely. But does it make you technically a worse fighting game player? Well, for sure. For sure. But there needs to be, like, a balance, right? There needs to be, like, just the way it is. Like, there's going to be some characters that piss the fucking community off. Just the way chat, like, I don't know if you guys remember what the fuck happened to people that played Bayonetta in Smash 4. But holy shit. I played Soul Bad Guy for, like, the first 2 days this game was out. And I get people dropping in my chat, why are you playing this broken character? I can get into, like, you know, a 90-minute diatribe about why the fuck that's a ridiculous statement and all this shit. But you can't change the way fucking people think. You can't change casual audiences will adopt over time, and some people will tune in and pick up fighting games, but you have to understand some people don't give a shit that you are trying your best to be the best. Only a specific audience will like that.
Huh.
And it's a brutal fucking realization. It's a brutal fucking realization. Where it's like, goddamn. Somebody says, but you play Leo? Leo is super fucking good in this game. Absolutely. Leo is insanely fucking good in this game. I think Leo is as good in this game as he actually is in XR. 100%. He's super fucking, he's good in different ways, you know? That it almost balances each other out. He's great. However, Leo plays a different game than Soul. Right? Leo's aggressive. Soul can be aggressive for sure, right? But Soul's aggression comes at the result of making sure you're blocking shit all the time, right? Like the idea with Leo is that what is he doing to you almost all the fucking time? He's opening you up. And casual audiences get pissed if people block shit all the time. Casual audiences don't like neutral. It's just the fucking brutal, I'm going to be brutally honest, the 90% of people that buy fighting games don't give a fuck about neutral. Like, I can be really honest with you. And that's not a bad thing because people, it's like, you know, that's true in all sports. I was literally about to use a sports example, right? I was literally about to use, like, examples from, like, football and basketball and shit. Doing the same shit. But does it mean that you have to tailor all of your content around that? No. But there needs to be an understanding, right? There needs to be a point in between to understand, like, what do casual people usually like about fighting games? What do people that are above the casual level like? What are sort of like moderately hardcore and then super hardcore? And the further you get towards that hardcore end is so much dramatically small, right? The amount of people that are there. So my goal is to appeal towards the largest majority possible, because if you appeal towards the larger majority, you have a chance in getting any one of that majority into the hardcore slot. And that's been my experience over the years, right? That's my experience over the years. You have a chance of getting these people to eventually convert. Not to go to tournaments, not to fucking win Evo, but to at least try to understand what's happening on the screen and make sense of it so that they can make a connection with their character, you know? And that's an important thing. That to me, making that connection with somebody and converting them to the point where they, like, go to Evo, or they care about tournaments, or they care about patch notes, that kind of shit, yes. Like, that's, to me, the most valuable thing. Because now you've introduced something to someone that they didn't even realize existed before. Because chat, I'm gonna be, there's another brutal honesty, very large majority of people that buy fighting games, very large percentage, just think that you're doing this. Just mashing the fucking face in it. Just literally. A very large majority of people that like fighting games, are not anywhere close to hardcore, they honestly think that the harder you press the fucking buttons and the faster you press them, the better you do. This is like the actual. These are the actual casual audience. So to me, wait, you aren't doing that? To me, getting people to make, is that a bad thing? And here's the thing, it's not. It's not. Because that exists everywhere. Everyone thinks something is stupid easy and they can do it until they actually try it and they're like, fuck, this is actually super hard. I have no idea how people are good at this shit. You know? And that's actually everything. You know? That's literally everything. So the fact that people think that isn't a problem. That's actually completely normal. To me, the goal and my whole fucking gimmick over the past 10 years has been to bridge that gap, right? Has been to hopefully get people to realize what they're doing instead of just doing it and having a deeper appreciation of how cool some of the little individual moments are in fighting games that make them really special, in my opinion, you know? But like I said, in complete fucking defense of casuals, of like that huge percentage of people that will buy fighting games and they just hate seeing these characters, or they hate seeing neutral, or they hate seeing projectiles, or they hate seeing like whatever they can block spammers, like all that kind of shit. Are they wrong to feel that way? No. In fact, I would not want to try to like push somebody towards a direction, especially somebody that doesn't want to learn. The worst thing is trying to teach people that don't want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Instead,
Mm-hmm.
try to convince them that you're not teaching them. Show them something fucking super cool about the game, and they'll want to start investing time in it. So, yeah, I can definitely sympathize that sometimes you can't play some fucking characters. You just can't. There's some characters that are new in fighting games that if you play that character, you're just asking for people to show up and just take a shit on you all the time. You're super pissed off. It's just fucking the way it goes. But that's the difference between, you know, entertainment and being good and being competitive. And that's why I try to stay in between. I try to be like right in between. Let auto combos exist? Let auto combos exist. I have zero problems with things like auto combos. I think people that are just matching their face on the buttons should absolutely be given cool shit to happen on the screen. As long as that's not
That's
the best
me.
thing you can do.
That's
You know?
exactly what I do.
If the auto combo ends up being part of the optimization, if the auto combo ends up being the thing that's one of the best things to do, then there's a big fucking problem. Yeah, auto combos are essentially like aim assist, you know? Yeah, plenty of fighting games have done auto combos just fine. Tekken does auto combos just fine, for crap's sake. But when the auto combo switches fucking directions, and if the second hit hits you, it acts like a medium starter and you're losing 50% off any basic fucking thing that hit you, then yeah, it's gonna piss me off. You know? Yeah, Tekken has auto combos. Yeah, Dragon Ball auto combos are like the ultimate example of that shit. It's rough, man. You're allowed to mash. I think you should be able to see cool shit with your characters without doing a lot. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, auto combo in KO at 14 was like a 3 to 5 hit combo, and it just comboed into super. It did like 25%. It wasn't worth the meter at all. But auto combos are like a bridge, where it's like, oh, I'm doing this thing, beep, 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 whack. Oh, cool, I did it. And then you go up against some guy that goes, beep, 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 relaunch, beep, 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 super. You're like, fuck. What am I missing out on? How do I do that? There's a real good reason, chat, why this video is one of the most popular videos on my channel. real good reason. The most frequent question I get is, if I do auto combos, how do I stop doing auto combos, and what do you properly do? There's a real good reason, because casual players, this is not a hardcore player base. This is not. Casual players want to do the cooler shit.
I always wanted to. That's what I was doing with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, man. I was using the training mode and really trying to get good.
Coming from people that were absolutely, I can tell you right now, anybody that's anyone that has played like a week of Dragon Ball FighterZ knows exactly what I'm talking about. The multiple ways to extend combos in the air in Dragon Ball FighterZ outside of auto combos. Anyone that's anyone already knows how to do this shit. This video is literally useless. However, a lot of people don't want to do the basic shit. They want to do the cool shit they're seeing other people doing. That's doing more damage. Doing this stuff is fun. It's cool to learn shit in fighting games. It's enjoyable to see you to figure something out, and now you're doing the cool new thing instead of just a face match, you know? Yes, this was 1.6 million EVO finalists that took this information and won 1.6 million EVOs. Anyway. Yes, it's fun to learn. It is. Like, why do you think I have so much fun in training mode? Why do you think I have so much fun streaming training mode and fighting games? It's fun to figure shit out. It's ultimately taking away the stigma of that stuff that, man, playing fighting games is like having to go to fucking college. I have to get a goddamn degree in hitbox history. If I want to be good at it, I have to get a fucking degree in frame data, motherfucker. If I want to be good at fighting games? No, you really don't. You really don't. You can just start playing them and then focus on the things that you really enjoy. I did a PhD in Oki. Got my master's in Okizeme, you know? You can just start playing the game at a low level and then take gradual steps. Because a lot of people, the big issue with like so many tutorials and so many things out there is that a lot of casuals get super intimidated by fighting games when they watch like, even someone like me, which is an absolute median level in like every fucking fighting game. When they watch somebody, even at a median level, that takes so many fucking years of experience to eventually understand situational awareness, people think that they don't have to take the steps to eventually get there. People just want to go, whoop! I just want to jump up to here, right? I just want to get to this spot real fast. And that's just not the way things fucking work. That's like going, that's life in general though. Right, I mean 100% footsies in real life, that's what I'm fucking talking about. You don't go into a math class where you start off with basic subtraction and addition, and you're like, yeah, here's the tutorial. Now I'm just going to apply this shit at, like, geometry. No. Well, there's so much other shit that you have to go through that you're not going to have any idea how the fuck it works when you just apply the beginning to way later, you know? It's like a weird advice where you get... I remember hearing this when it first came out. When Tekken 7 came out, everyone's like, what do I do to get better at Tekken 7? What do I do? And everyone said mobility. Practice your Korean backdashing. Practice your character mobility to get out of the way of things, because that's a huge part of Tekken. Oh yeah, what they're saying is absolutely true. However, if you're at this fucking level, and you tell someone to start practicing the Korean backdashing, and they have no fucking idea about matchups, spatial awareness, negative or positive on block, any of the other shit, they're missing, there's so much other shit. Which is why usually the thing that I recommend people do, right? That I recommend people do at this level, when they're down here, isn't a specific thing of do more combos, learn to defend, right? Utilize the mechanics more. No. People down here just need to play the fucking game.
Yep.
People down here just need to be exposed to the game to get an understanding of how does it even work, right? Is this a game that, do I anti-air people? How do these characters work? Do I know how to fight, at least half the characters in the game, just fucking play the game, right? And if the process of you playing the game to get to the part where it's like, okay, I understand how the game works. If this shit doesn't, if you don't get there, then stop playing the game, right? If people drop out at some point in between all this shit where it's just basic playing the game to, oh, this is how this game works. If you can't even make that, then just fucking peace out. That means you didn't like the game. That means there's probably another fighting game for you. So to be like, hey, you know, and this is what happens with a lot of like modern fighting game information, a lot of it wants you to be up here, right? A lot of it wants you to start way the fuck up here. And people are just like, what's a hentai air again? Is that from the ground? Or if I'm jumping at them? And you're like, okay, let's go back down to here. Take it back down to here. Fuck is a hentai air? Exactly. Exactly. What's a sex kick? And people are trying to speed run fighting games or some shit. And it's like, no, dude, here's the thing. If this part isn't fun, if you, like, just playing the game and getting an understanding to the game isn't fun, if you're not enjoying this process, which is honestly, this little chunk that I'm talking about down here is the most fun you're probably going to have with the game in general. You know? This is some of the most fun fighting games get. For the very large majority, this discovery process of just figuring out how this shit works is a fucking blast. If that isn't fun to you, then you're probably gonna stay casual. You're probably gonna stay at the point where you just like hitting some fucking buttons and seeing some shit happen. Which is fine. This is why the majority of fighting game players and this great pantheon of people that play the game are going to remain at a skill level that is like down to floor, you know, what, like 6 or 7? The lower floors that represented the new players. And that's totally fucking fine. That's completely fine. My whole argument, once again, is that people try to jump. They try to get, like, go up here. It's like, you use, like, the most basic of understanding. People are just wondering, why am I losing? And some people don't even, like, want to. Some people have really, like, what's the right word? Superfluous? Superficial? People have, like, really weird reasons for wanting to get really good. And it's not that, you know, you get, like, professional players, and they're going to give you crazy good advice, right? Superfluous? Superfluous? They're going to give you really high-end advice that applies to, like, getting you a lot better at the game, you know? But usually, like, the goal of a lot of casual players isn't to be, like, the fucking best and to eventually reach here. They want to, like, beat their brother or some shit. I just want to beat my friend that's talking some shit.
Yeah, I just didn't want to get Berserker Clawed out of the fucking online matches.
Tell me what I should do. And at that point, you can be like, oh, go pick Leo and then do this run-through move and never stop. And then he comes back, he's like, I don't have any friends anymore. Anyway, chat, sorry. All right, let's fire up some Ghost of Tsushima. All my friends left. They're all gone. That means you won. Yes, you got what you wanted, right? Yeah, I'm the best, but I don't have any friends anymore. Well, I mean, you asked the wrong question. You idiot. That's a good conversation, chat. It's possible not to, like, absolutely detest casual players or super hardcore players, you know? Like, not everything is like super black or super white. Like, complete polar opposite ends of the spectrum, where it's like, fuck you, or fuck these try-hard shitlords. Like, similar to the same way that I try to approach making, you know, content in general, there is a really specific gray area in between that you can rotate in and out of, you know, constantly. And understanding that that also applies to almost everything in life, and also applies to the way people, like, approach fighting games and just want to have fun, that you're allowed to have fun, is kind of important. That's why I really... The problem is that, you know, you get some people on these like lower ranks, and they're like, "Is this game balanced?" Why? You know, once again, it's not just teaching the upper echelon of people that are super good at fighting games. It's also letting people know what's actually important in fighting games, because if you got someone that barely understands what an anti-air is, or any conceptualization of screen space awareness, or footsies, or any basic, right, if I do this, if my opponent's been doing this every single time, should I maybe do something different the next time? Having like that situational awareness, if you can't even get to that point, right? If they're not even at that point and they're like, is this game balanced? I only play balanced fighting games. This is why I say if somebody chimes in on a conversation and they're like, they ask, is this game balanced? They probably have no idea how fighting games work. Just generally, right? I'm not saying that fighting games are either balanced or imbalanced. It's just that for anyone that has played this genre for one game or more and has figured out one game to be somewhat comfortable with it, you know, to a certain degree, you'll know that by design, fighting games are imbalanced. That's the whole point. The whole point is that some characters are going to fuck you up. And no matter how hard you work, you're going to get fucked up. And usually, the balance side of things only really applies to people way up here. The balance side, like, most of the time, only really applies to people. However, and I've said this before, however, if you do get somebody that comes up to you and they're like, you've been playing a game, like Guilty Gear, right? And this dude is like, yo. They don't ask, is this game balanced? They ask, who's good in this game? There's a good chance that person might actually understand fighting games. Pretty good chance. You're like, play Soul Bad Guy. They genuinely might have an understanding. Might they be, might they have a total scrub mentality? Right, they might be like super, what's it called? They might be super flowcharty and just do things, right? I just do things and it works. I just essentially go through an effective flowchart. Right? Like, whatever that, like, I think that is technical scrub mentality kind of thing, where you don't understand why you're losing, you just do the thing that it gets you wins, and you just repeat that thing over and over and over again, right? And yeah, that is absolutely a way to play fighting games, but even getting to that point is way beyond this lower level, right? That shit is way, the autopilot aspect that's just getting you wins, people don't want to fucking think, I just want to do, that is way fucking beyond, like, the basic, general, kind of like, how does this, what do I do? Those people have actually figured the game out, they just don't want to use their brain. And is it frustrating to fight against those kind of people? Oh, yes. Yes. It is arguably one of the most satisfying thing is forcing somebody that is clearly not using their brain and just doing shit, and then stopping it, and then realizing that they don't have a fucking answer, and then they quit. And then usually, 90% of the time, they quit out. Chat, we all know. Anyone that's played this genre of games knows 100%. You start playing a dude, and in the first round, you go like, really? That's how you play? And then you slightly change something, and then you win, and then you're like, I'm just going to keep that thing up that I changed and see if this guy changes. And they don't, and then they leave. That makes sense. Everybody's had that fucking moment happen. You can feel it in the first round. You feel it, where you're like, but still, even that person at that understanding of like a fighting game, right? Even at that point, they're way, way above, right? Way fucking above that opening level of like, how does this game even, what is this game, to figuring out how the game even works. And they're fucking way above that shit. But yeah, and then even above that is actually fighting your opponent, you know? No longer is this is the weird this is me just fucking harking right now, chat. But this is like the weird conversation that everyone has with tiers in fighting games, right? Where so many people get so boiled into the goddamn character matchups, so boiled into everything of this is a 5-5 or a 6-4 or a 7-3 or yada yada yada, and all of it goes out the fucking window when the player is considered. Well, what if this person's playing a character? Oh, they're like the best in the game. It's almost like that fucking data almost was useless to you. You know? Because just getting to the point where, like, this lower level's curious about tiers and shit, they're not even considering the fact that a person playing a character in a specific way will be insanely fucking hard, you know? Like, Sonic Fox, for example, in this game that they barely play at all, can still get to, like, second place at Evo because they figured it out, right? They figured that shit out. Anyway. Yeah, same thing with, you know, Hotachi using Nago Ryuki. Same shit. Character that everyone deemed terrible and awful from the betas, and ended up being super fucking good because it took some time. Took some time and optimization. As a relative newbie to fighting games, you find it hard to adapt to scenarios, like struggle to take into the info and matchup considering necessary to progress. The only fighting game that I feel I know the matchup well enough is Smash. Yeah. And that's mostly because a lot of the situational awareness of Smash Brothers, guess how many other fighting games that, unless you're like, you know, one of the best Smash players, guess how many other fighting games Smash knowledge really applies to? Other Smash games or games that are like Smash. Really, like, it's a very, there's some, like, if you're super fucking good, it might actually translate to, you know, 2D/3D fighting games, where, like, the majority of the history of fighting games kind of is, instead of platform fighters. But that's not, I mean, I would not, this guy's saying and asking in terms of, like, how do I get used to this shit? I'm pretty good at Smash, but I just can't figure out these situations in other fighting games. And that makes perfect sense, because a lot of the situational stuff that happens in Smash Brothers doesn't really happen in other fighting games. Maybe some, but not a lot. So what's the answer to that? Like, what is the... There's a reason why there's very few, Smash players. There's some, right, like the Leftons and everything like that. There's some Smash players that will convert to other fighting games, for sure. But do a lot of, like, Smash players ultimately develop into being, like, other fighting game players? Not really. They mostly stick with the thing that they're good at, because that is a very unique skill set. But the answer is, like, what is the answer in this situation? You know, how do I respond to this situation, and what should I do? There's this fucking amazing quote. Hang on a second. Chat. Who's the dude with the mustache that went to space? What's his name? It's like Carl. The fuck is his name?
Jeff Bezos? What are you talking about?
Not Jeff Bezos. Chris Hadfield.
Not Jeff Bezos.
This fucking conversation talks about him going blind when he was in space. There's a part of the video where he talks about spiders. Like, being in this situation and being fucking terrified and not knowing what to do. Can't remember.
Denied to you, where you can see the hard pan. So, but going back into the atmosphere, and you can now look back.
Hang on a second. I think I can read the quote. I have to dig through the whole video. But his analogy was, things are fucking scary when you're not exposed to them a lot. Obviously, right? Things are like, oh shit, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know what the fuck is going on. When you're not
All right. Oh shit, I didn't even render this out. My back is hurting for some reason. Ah, that's not good. Gotta go like do some stretching, do some yoga. Wonder, do I wanna render this out right now? Or can we just come back and do it later? Cause my back is killing me. Yeah. Where are we at on this stream? Going on 2 hours? Yeah. That's good. Got pretty much 1.5 of these assault rifles down. And yeah, I got the extra attachments, a couple extra muzzles on this one, or silencers, whatever. And then 2 different whatever those little bracers are, I don't even know. And then a few different I have no idea how these sort of things are supposed to work. This extension, I don't know if it'll like kind of like click and then and then after you use them you can just like click, that way you don't have to worry about all this extra nonsense poking down from the handle. I have no idea. And then this kind of potato modified silencer, extended silencer to it. Anyways, and yeah, I believe this is the bracer that you can whip out. That it's not there when you don't need it, and then when you do need it, you just and it like rotates and whips out, and that's what this hinge is there for. See how this one is just braced in there, you can't do anything. This I think is actually folded and locks in, so that way when you don't want it to be braced against your shoulder, you don't need it there, and then when you do, whip it out, bam, now you can use it. But either way, yeah, man, my back is killing me. I know I'm not rendering this one out on the stream. Maybe in the next one, or I'll do it off stream. But yeah, I'm gonna continue to watch whatever Max is talking about over here, and do some back stretches and things like that. Cause yeah, my ass is like falling asleep and shit. What the hell? Like literally my ass, not me, but my ass. Anyways, man, Mr. Drew on all socials. Follow, like, and subscribe. gmrdrew.art, my website. Check it out. Other than that, man, I want to thank you all for watching. Love you. Peace.
You repeatedly expose yourself to something or